Dear participants outside, we were about to begin, so please come to the room. Thank you.
الرجاء من سيادتكم الهدوء والاهتمام لأن البرنامج سنبدأه بعد اللحظات، وأرجو منكم أيضا عدم تشغيل الهاتف طوال فترة البرنامج وعدم أخذ الصورة إلى مسؤولين. شكرا.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, are kindly requested to take their assigned seat as the event is about to begin. Additionally, it is hoped that all attendees will follow the entire sequence of the event with close attention.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sahibul Fadilah As-Sayyid Al-Ustadz Ad-Doktor Pil Al-Makin Raisu Jami'ah Sunan Kalijaga Al-Islamiyah Al-Hukumiyah Yogyakarta. Sahibul Fadilah As-Sayyid Al-Ustadz Ad-Doktor Muhammad Wildan Amidu Kulliyatil Adab wa Ulumu Al-Thaqafiyah Bijami'ah Sunan Kalijaga Al-Islamiyah Al-Hukumiyah Yogyakarta wa jami'u nawabihil kiram. Sahibul Fadilah As-Sayyid Ad-Doktor Jarad Wahyudi wa Doktorah Witriani Raisai hadal Mu'tamar.
The Honorable Professor Dr. Julian Mili, Associate Professor of Anthropology at Monash University. The Honorable Dr. Nazaruddin Musa, Master of Library and Information Science, Arani State Islamic University. The Honorable Professor Dr. Hajah Raskova, Okta Berlina, Master Education from the English Literature Association in Indonesia. The Honorable Dr. Fuad Arif Budiartanto, PhD, Lecturer of English Department in Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University. Deans and Vice Deans of all faculties in Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University. All invited speakers, moderators, and distinguished participants.
Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min syururi anfusina ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله لا نبي ولا رسول بعده أما بعد.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Lutfina Cahyani and my partner Siti Nur Hidayah on behalf of the committee. Let us extend our warmest welcome to the plenary session 2 and the MOU of the Third International Symposium, the practice of the coexistence in Islamic culture 2024. The conference is conducted virtually and live from the Zoom meeting room and the official YouTube channel of the Faculty of Adab and Cultural Sciences.
Hadirin tamu undangan yang kami hormati, perkenankan kami membacakan susunan plenary session 2 serta penutupan ikonik dan simposium pada hari ini. Acara yang pertama, pembukaan. Acara yang kedua, plenary session 2. Acara yang ketiga, penandatanganan dan penyerahan MOU. Acara yang keempat, closing ceremony, dan acara yang terakhir, penutup. Al-Barnamij al-awal al-iftitah linaftatiha barnamijana hadan nahar bikiratil basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Ladies and gentlemen, proceeding to the next agenda, the plenary session 2. The speaker of these sessions are Professor Dr. Julian Milley, Associate Professor of Anthropology at Monash University, Professor Dr. Hajalike Raskova, Okta Berlina, Master Education from the English Literature Association in Indonesia, Dr. Nazaruddin Musa, Master of Library and Information Science at Araniri State Islamic University. The plenary session 2 will be led by Dr. Fuad Arif Budiartanto. We will introduce our moderator for the plenary session 2 by reading his CV briefly. Dr. Fuad Arif Budiartanto is a senior lecturer at English Literature Department of the Faculty of Adab and Cultural Science. He already published many book chapters, journals, conference paper, monograph, and active at several scientific meetings. So let's welcome our moderator, Dr. Fuad Arif Budiartanto. The platform is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'du. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is still happy and healthy, hopefully, yeah. On this occasion, I would like to invite on the stage our speakers, our distinguished speakers for today's plenary. First, please come to the stage, Professor Dr. Julian Milley from Monash University. Please give a warm welcome to Professor Julian Milley. Yes, nice to meet you. Good, thank you. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Thank you, Professor Julian Milley. Second one, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Hajalike Raskova Okta Berlina on stage. Please give applause to her. Thank you, Bu. Please have a seat there. Thank you. And the third speaker for today's session, please welcome Dr. Nazaruddin Musa on stage. Thank you very much. Thank you. First, I would like to read our distinguished speakers' curriculum vitae. Our topic for today's symposium and also the conference is the practice of coexistence in Islamic culture. And today's speaker are going to talk about the idea from different perspectives. We have Professor Mili here from Monash University. If I'm not mistaken, he is going to talk about tradition, educational tradition in pesantren. Although he is from Australia, but he likes to do a research on pesantren in Indonesia. Thank you very much for that, Pak Professor Julian Mili. Professor Julian Mili is senior associate professor in Monash University, Australia. She did his PhD in Leiden University, right? And your master in Monash University. Thank you. Professor Dr. Hajah Halike Raskova Oktaberlina, she graduated from Universitas Negeri Malang with an almost perfect, what do you call it, academic transcript. Yeah. She got cum laude for her PhD. Congratulations, Bu Rika. She would, I think, talk about education, but in from different perspective. She would like to talk about personalized education, I think. In her title later is One for All, but Not All for One. Unleash students' English language potential. We would like to hear her insights about how to treat students differently. Next one, the third one is Dr. Nazaruddin Musa from Aceh. So we have speakers from the east, Monash, I think I would like to call it southeast, yeah, southeast, sorry. And then we have the speakers from the middle, like from Malang. And we have also the speakers from west north, from Aceh. Pak Nazaruddin is from Aceh, from Banda Aceh. She would like to talk, I think this would be very interesting because maybe we are not familiar with this idea about digital amnesia. So we would like to hear about digital amnesia, and I think he would also talk about that in relation to the coexistence of Islamic culture. Yeah. Without further ado, I would like to give the floor to Pak Julian Mili first. On the schedule, we have changed the rundown, so I will give you 20 minutes, and then each of you, and then we have some question and answer later on. I hope that would be enough. Thank you very much, and please, the floor is yours. Pak Mili. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And welcome to all of you. Thank you very much, Dr. Fuad. And thank you very much, Dekan Professor Muhammad Wildan. And thank you also, Fatia, for your help with inviting me here. I'm really happy to be here in this very famous university in Indonesia. Now, I am talking about from my experience as Professor of Indonesian Studies. So in Australia, we have a number of programs of Indonesian study. So every time I give a talk, it's about Indonesia, okay, including this one. Now, I'm interested in culture and coexistence of different cultures. And usually we think about culture as being groups of individuals like ethnicities, so Javanese and Sundanese and Australian and so forth. But we also have to think about culture as the different kinds of things we have to negotiate in our daily lives. For example, what about bureaucratic culture? Bureaucratic culture is a really very important thing for us because it's on the rise in our societies and it's something that we have to negotiate, especially as academics. Next, guys. Next. Nah, okay. For example, audit culture. As academics, we're always, in this current time, we're always worried about performance and output measurements. I can do that. Okay, all right, beautiful. This one's a pointer. Okay, oh, beautiful. Thank you. It was right in front of me too. So for example, we're worried about, are we publishing enough? We're worried about where we publish. We're worried about our teaching being evaluated. We have targets that we have to meet. That's a reality of the bureaucratic culture that we as academics have to negotiate. Now there's two sides to this because the bureaucratic culture is really important. The efficiencies of our modern states depend upon that bureaucratic culture. But there are also some negative sides of it maybe, and I think we see some of these negative sides emerging in Islamic education in Indonesia. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, the coexistence of culture, the bureaucratic culture within Islamic culture in Indonesia. And the example that I want to bring is called talaki. Now, so what is that talaki? Talaki is a pedagogical concept that we encounter in the pesantren environment. So in English we would say face-to-face. Face-to-face, bahasa Indonesianya tatap muka, yeah? But a friend of mine in Bandung, a kiai also, I said, apa itu talaki? What is talaki? And he said, talaki itu sanad and adab. Talaki is sanad and adab, sorry. So sanad, of course, what he meant was when he engages with a teacher, he is reflecting upon and taking attention to the teacher's genealogy. Adab, the sanad becomes a guarantee of a kind of moral virtue in the teacher. And that really motivated him to do a lot of things in his life. For example, he went to different pesantren around West Java and also to the eastern part of Java to find teachers with whom he could have talaki pedagogical interaction. Now, so this concept, as you would know, is an icon of a particular cultural world, and that is the pesantren culture, which is a place with a distinctive cosmological and religious cultures. And the elements include things like kiai, the principle of the school, kitab, the classical books that are used there, and sanad, genealogy. And there's all kinds of genealogies. There are genealogies from murshids, from transmitters of hadith and qira'at. There are there are genealogies that are family genealogies. There are genealogies for completion of kitabs, yeah, with individual scholars. Now, we know that these genealogies, they're not just about relations between humans or the transfer of knowledge. They're also about kesolehan, ethics, morality, virtuous behaviour, in other words, adab. So, in the talaki, the humans really matter, don't they? I mean, when my friend in West Java was moving around Java, seeking talaki interactions, he was thinking of individual specific teachers, all right? Now, this is where we are going to see something of a culture clash, because if we look to the bureaucratic version of education and the evaluation of education, we see something that is quite different. So let's take, for example, many of you will know that the policy of the Ministry of Religion in Indonesia has been to integrate Islamic learning into a national educational system. It's been to make convergences between Islamic and the umum, or the public education. And this has had some big moments. For example, in 1975, many of you will know that the three ministers got together to make a big change in Islamic education. They said, from now on, in the madrasa, you need 70% of umum or non-religious subjects. And then, this was an amazing thing. It enabled so many things to happen. For example, students could move around from institutions where previously they couldn't. Furthermore, Islamic education became included in the national repertoire in a formal way, which was very dignifying. Teacher qualifications became very important. And also, the government started to spend a lot of time and money on supervision and evaluation of schools. So madrasa had to apply for registration and then for equalisation. So at that time, the bureaucracy part of Islamic education really rose. And I think, without a doubt, the effects of that culture is to reduce the importance of the single individual that we find in talaki. So the emphasis is shifted from the single individual to what we could call the standard operational procedure. And Max Weber had already pointed this out about bureaucracy a long time ago, when he noticed that the manusia itu kan dijauhkan dari proses penilaian in education with this move. Now, I'm not the only one to talk about this. Of course, some of your colleagues in the UIN system have been pointing out these kind of issues. For example, Irfan Nurtawab has recently written, he argues that kitab-based learning has contended with the process of marginalisation since the modernisation of the early 20th century. Now, that was published in Studia Islamica. And I think nobody would probably deny that. I think this is something that is an important general trend in Indonesia. But of course, we're social scientists. We want to know exactly how that happened. We want to know exactly what is going on here. And that becomes important because the pesantren is not being marginalised. I mean, in West Java, the pesantren is a very popular educational resource. And my friends in West Java, almost all of them are sending their children to be educated in the pesantren. So if that's the case, if the popularity of the pesantren is maintained, we ought to ask the question, well, what's happening to this mixture of individual-based pedagogy and the bureaucratic ones? What's involved in this kind of cultural confrontation? So my research team in Jawa Barat from Universitas Islam Negeri Sunan Gunung Jati, we went to a number of pesantren to try to understand how this trend might be happening. And the pesantren we went to were all pesantren which had a pesantren curriculum, which is designed and maintained by the pesantren, and a madrasa curriculum, which is prescribed by the Ministry of Religion, or in one of the examples by the Diptyque, by the non-religious Ministry of Education here. Now, but all these three institutions had their pesantren label. They self-identify as pesantren, and they place a big emphasis on genealogies. So we went and asked a number of, we talked to the staff there about this talaki concept. And it was very interesting to hear what they had said. For example, they all spoke about talaki in a very emotive way, in a very strong way. They were very responsive to these questions about talaki, and they focused on what we call the affective properties. Affect means the impact on the individual in the area of feelings, not so much cognition, but the impact in emotions and feelings. For example, one staff member said, "Oh, talaki is like an inflow of feeling from the teacher, as if I was charging a mobile phone." Another said, "Itu kan talaki itu kita nyambung sama sang guru." So there's a lot of expressions about the kind of effective connections that this was created. And at the same time, I noticed that in our conversations with these educators, they were also a bit dismissive of Islamic learning that was emerging. For example, online Quranic education, online courses for studying the Quran. They were very dismissive of them because they said, look, there's no sanad or adab in that pedagogical interaction. So for them, talaki is a kind of superior form of learning. So from this perspective, we don't see a marginalisation of these established practices like talaki, but a coexistence that's being achieved through the ministry's contemporary policy settings. Now, I still think that Irfan Ratawab's comment before is correct. Of course, we're seeing over the broader historical view, we're seeing a marginalisation of those kitab-based practices. But in the current policy settings, a pesantren can organise its affairs so that the talaki pedagogy is able to coexist with the rationalised pedagogy. Now, an interesting question is then, how does the pesantren leadership view this? Okay, because they're dealing with two different educational systems here. One of them is their traditional home domain, and the other is something that's come more recently with the bureaucratic state. So do they have an educational philosophy that underpins these things? And I found that the Kiai and the staff were more pragmatic in relation to that question. One thing they said was, it must be really difficult for pesantren that don't have madrasa. In particular, they referred to the material and financial sides of this. How do they get by without the madrasa was point one. And the second point was they were very clear that the real activity, the most important part of their pesantren institution in their vision was the pesantren education. For example, one Kiai said, the pesantren is the locomotive of this institution and it pulls the madrasa along behind it. And that's a very interesting reflection about resource allocation and so forth. You get a bit of an insight there into the kind of priorities that matter in that institution. So here's my final slide here. Why is it important then to talk about the so-called marginalisation or the coexistence, the cultural coexistence of different pedagogical cultures? I think for one reason, talaki and those kind of pedagogical practices clearly reflect the cosmological and the cultural visions of a big part of Indonesian society, not only in Java. The second point is that those practices, to some degree, their efficacy is proven. They've been proven to be successful because they've contributed to making Indonesia the unique Islamic society that it is now. So I think if these are marginalised or replaced by bureaucratic models, I think there needs to be some reflection about what might be involved in that process. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think you spent less than 20 minutes, but thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now we go to the second speaker, Ibu Hajah Rike Raskova Okta Berlina. You will have 20 minutes, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Rabbi israh li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'du. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's very nice to meet you again. Now, is there anyone in here? It is the first time for you to come to Yogyakarta. Raise your hand. Okay, yes, sir. There are 2 persons. Oh, lots. Okay. Now, can you tell us what is your impression the first time you come to Yogyakarta? Yes. Is there any mic? Can I wear this? Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
I feel that I stay in my house.
Give applause. Thank you, sir. Okay, so you feel like you stay in your own house. Thank you, sir. So don't come back to your country. Just stay in here with us. Sir, can you give it to...
أشعر أنني في الجنة.
You feel like in Jannah. Okay. You should not get out from this room, sir. Stay in here. Because outside in here, it will be the hell. Yes, and then? Yes, please.
First of all, I was surprised on the role of women in this society. Because women here has a central role in society, and actually it makes us glad. Because I think in this term, Indonesia and Yogyakarta can be an example for the whole Muslim world.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes.
I have never seen as much as polite Indonesian society.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And even now you are wearing the scarf from Yogyakarta. Amazing. How about you? It's not your first time? You are so honest. I love it. Okay. Yes. Fadila.
Yes, this is my first time when I just came out from the airport, and the word came from my heart. It's wow, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And everyone is screaming, oh, Kajol, Kajol from India. No, they're not screaming like that. She's like Kajol from Bangladesh.
No, not really. And the people are over here. They're very much friendly, and I really liked their way towards us. Hospitality is very, very important, and I have received a great hospitality from here. So that is my, I'll keep it in my heart in my whole life.
Thank you so much. Yes. How about you?
So I have this similar feeling here as well. The people here are very, very friendly, very, very well-mannered and polite. And particularly this conference, I have went a few conferences in other countries as well. Particularly, the people are very much well-organized in organizing this conference and events. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is the statement from Shah Rukh Khan. Okay, now we come to the next one. Yes, sir.
I like your country and your person, your toplum, your society. And I have a friend in here. I say to her, Zulfa and Disa. I have new friend in your country, Indonesia. And I'm very happy to be in here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, have you postponed your ticket to go home? Okay, good. You have to, yes?
It's also my first visit in Indonesia. I see hospitality, I see kindness, and I see me at home. And I think when I was in Indonesia first time, I think Indonesia, the land of the bikes.
The land of the bikes.
There are a lot of the bikes on the street.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. How about you?
Thank you so much. I love your hospitality and sincerity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. No? You don't want to talk? This is your third time, I think. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mas. Biasa di sini ya, Mas ya. Hello. Thank you. So, now this is in Yogyakarta. Have you ever visited this place? Is there any place like this in your hometown? This is also in Yogyakarta. That beautiful, big, like swimming pool. You hope you will be there. This is like a big bathroom for princess in the kingdom in Yogyakarta. This is the big bathroom. Like a swimming pool, but actually it's not swimming pool, it's a bathroom, but all of the princess in Yogyakarta. So you have to visit there. Any one of you experienced going there? Pak Jufri, have you experienced? No? Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, and then, not only that, how about this? Have you known about this place? Anyone? Where is it? Pak Wisran, you know about this place? Some student who doesn't want to answer when I call his name, Pak Wisran, you know, it means that student doesn't want to answer, so don't force him to answer the questions. Okay, let's continue with the questions. Okay, now for this one, another form of water, natural water that we have. Where is it? Anyone? Do you know where is it? For other students who doesn't want to answer, do you know what it's? They will pretend texting something to someone. Okay, this is in Bantimurung, Sulawesi. Okay, another thing, you will see the other Jannah in Indonesia. This is, where is it? Anyone? Can you guess? Bali? Oh, I think you think that Bali, Indonesia inside in Bali, right? I think you did. Okay, this is in Sibolangit, Sumatra. So this is in Sumatra. Okay. Okay. In group, this is the activity that we can use inside the class. For example, in group, choose one of your favorite tourism destination in Indonesia, but also it can be not in Indonesia, in your hometown or in your country. Do you have any tourism destinations? Do you have any tourism destination? Please don't answer masjid or mosque.
Yes, we have.
Like what? What is the tourism destination in your country?
In our country, there is a lot of
tourism destination.
Yes, like Hagia Sophia, like Istanbul is full of this examples, and Cappadocia.
That's right.
Yeah, Nevşehir, and other places.
Lots.
Mesopotamia and Antalya.
Amazing. So lots of beautiful tourism destinations in the country is?
Yeah, you want to take you to Turkey.
Yes. I often heard lots of people say that, okay, if you want to go overseas, where do you want to go? I want to go to Turkey because the place is beautiful. I think not only the place, but the persons in Turkey and Azerbaijan are also beautiful. And also in Bangladesh, give applause to all of our distinguished guests. Okay, this is the example of all of the activities that you demonstrate is holistic learning strategies that we practice today. It is about holistic learning strategies. English plays such a small role and brought it into the position where English language seems focused into about English. Usually inside the class, I'm also an English teacher and I also learn English before my teacher only focus into English inside the class. That's why we are very bored. We are not motivated because our teachers just talk about English only. Okay, today I want to teach you about past tense. Okay, past tense subject plus verb to plus object. Any questions so far? Okay, so we only talk about English. So that's why we are bored. Some students, they hate English, not because the lesson, they hate English because of the teacher. So that's why in here we use unleash students' English language potential by using holistic learning strategy. Why we have to unleash students' English learning potential? Because there is a case. This is the case. I met one of my students in Banjarmasin airport. And then when someone called me, ma'am, who is calling me? It is so far away from my house. I don't think I have a friend in here. And then, ma'am, who are you? Ma'am, I'm your student long time ago. Oh, it must be my English student because I'm teaching in English department. Now, also great now. Where are you working? I'm working in coal mining. Coal mining, so far from English department. Why don't you teach English? No, ma'am, I don't have a chance to teach English. So I work, no, you can come to my university or I have a school so you can teach that. Come on, just go back into your knowledge that you are an English from English department. No, ma'am, I will stay in here. Okay, how much do you pay? Around, okay. Her salary is about 30 times of my salary. So I say, okay, just stay in here, don't be an English teacher. She is paid 30 times than the payment or the salary of English teacher. That's why I teach that. This is the first case. And the second case, I met my student in Jakarta, and he worked in an aspirin company in Germany, but the home base is in Jakarta. I met him, and once again, he is from English department, but he doesn't work in English sectors. He works in medical sectors. Why it happens? Because this phenomenon is very common that we met our students who have been successful in other fields of English. I think we often see our students that is working outside the field that they are studying. Why it happens? Because like this from English department, they can work in military, they can work in the bank, that's our students. And sometimes they can be like a trainer and motivator. And then, can you give the reasons why our students have different marks at the end of the class? Saya mau tanya sama Bapak Ibu, we are teaching in our class, but at the end of the semester, when we try to give marks to them, the marks are different. We teach the same method, we say the same word, but the result will be different to every student. My question is why, everyone? You want to answer, sir? Oh no, he got an itchy. I thought you want to answer that. But he got an itchy. Okay. The answer is there are two kinds of students that we have inside the class. First is growth mindset student. I'm open to learning and changing. And the second type of student that is fixed mindset. That's just the way I am. If I get bad marks in speaking, it means I'm not talented in speaking. So what's wrong with that? So my talent is other thing. So the student feel that it is normal for them for not being normal. The normal thing is that when they are teaching at the same material, the result must be the same. Just because they have this kind of mindset, that's why inside of a class, the result of the mark will be different. And then, That's why unleashing their every potential is very important. We have to unleash the potential. This is the holistic development in English language teaching that it becomes urgent. Because nowadays, English language only take a little part about life education. They only focus into English only. They never touch other things. But for some students who already implied or implement the life education, they are more successful inside the class. That is why only this great person in his huge school, only this great rector who is successful in your huge school, in your elementary school, because the condition of the students are different and we as the teacher try to make them the same, but actually they are different. If they are the same, so I think in your big school, not only you but Mr. Rector who are successful, all of your classmates will be very successful. Because we don't do about holistic development, because we only touch about the academic things, but we never touch about the life education for our students. And then, in addition, holistic approach to language learning can lead to more efficient and effective acquisition to a new language by offering more comprehensive understanding, since real life will be the subject. Because in English, using holistic, we will use the real life materials like now. Just like what I did to you before. I use the real materials, I use the real life materials for teaching you. For example, okay, have you ever been to Yogyakarta, where is a very good tourism destination in your country? This is the real life material that is very close to you. That's why you are like to be asked about your personal things. So topic that is related about the personal things of the learner is very important. And that's why this is about the life education. But sometimes we talk about something beyond what the students experience. That's why students think that it is not interesting because they never experienced that in their life. And then the question is, the next is how to implement that. This is how to implement it. We have to teach them with English or other languages, and then plus live education, and that's why we can unleash someone else's potentials. So of course we have to add with holistic development plus comprehensive mix of English and life. We cannot separate between English and students' life experience. And EFL educators should focus on growth mindsets in learning. Growth mindset is a belief that someone's most basic ability can be developed through dedication and hard work. We can see the examples from these great speakers who become the students. They are very eager to answer. Even when they don't have that words in their mind, they work hard to remember that because this topic there is very close with their personal experience or their personal background about them. That's why they think hard to think about it. So it means that they try to do their optimum ability in building their knowledge because it is very close with them. The second is that it refers to whether a learner fundamentally believes that their ability to learn language is fixed. Given talent, this is for fixed, but for those two great students in here, they feel language learning ability is something that can develop with the right strategies and motivation. It means that very optimistic student will believe that they can do that. So a great teacher is not a teacher who teach in a great technique, but a great teacher is a teacher who can convince that student that they are great and can do what they want to do. So the second thing is that after we try to use growth mindset to the students, try to convince them that they can do everything and they can reach whatever they want to reach. Second is we have to do the self-reflections. What is self-reflections? Self-reflection is not always solitary activity, but they can be in the form of reading, writing, acting, or tell. This is the forms of reflections. Like the examples that we are using in here, they are expressing their experience. This is about reflections, about telling something. Or it can be like personal diary, structural diary, and everything. And also it can be talk and tell just like what we practice today. I ask you some questions related to your personal experience or life, and then you try to answer that by using talk and tell. And then this is the form of the task for the self-reflections. For example, make use of open-ended tasks. What is open-ended tasks? For example, okay, students, now after everyone, you already experienced about how to stay in Yogyakarta for tomorrow. Please write one paragraph about the beauty of Yogyakarta. This is open-ended task. One student will write 3 paragraphs. The other students will write 5 paragraphs. But the other students will write 5 pages of writing. This is open-ended task. One task, but it can measure. Not able students and able students can be measured in one test. So I think this is a very humanistic test, because in one test, we assume that all of students are smart, but we appreciate each of them. Whether they do 3 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs, or 5 pages, they are very confident that they are smart students because they can finish their work. So in this case, it helps us try to solve the problems that in our class sometimes some students are not very smart and the other students are smart. This kind of open-ended test can help our students to still feel confident inside the class, even though sometimes their English or their knowledge is not very good, but they are very confident to keep improving in their knowledge because we gave them tests that really appreciate whatever the result of their work. And then number 3 is feedback. We also have to give the feedback to our students. For example, the feedback, there are sandwich feedback. What is sandwich feedback? Positive feedback in the upper part, and then constructive feedback in the middle, and also positive feedback again in the bottom. This is the example. Okay, Pak Saad, what is the biggest animal in the world? What is the biggest animal that you find in the zoo? Oh, Pak Saad will say, oh, yes, ma'am. What is it? 11, ma'am. He will answer 11. 11. And then the teacher, oh, that is so great. So the biggest animal in the zoo is elephant. Excellent. You are so good. I don't correct him directly, but I try to give positive feedback first by saying, oh, you do something great. But then I correct that immediately. Okay, so the biggest animal in the zoo is elephant. Once again, can you say that? Elephant, very good. Sometimes we forget to use this. Sometimes you just do constructive feedback without any positive feedback. Okay. Pak Saad, what is the biggest animal in the zoo? Please answer. Come on, quick, time is up. Duration. Okay. 11. Not 11. Come on. Elephant. Come on. Once again. Elephant. Come on. Pak Saad. Come on. Once again. So the teacher is not very patient to teach the students or guide the students to give or to answer with the correct answer. So it will make our students very desperate, and they think that I think English is not for me. So in this case, number 3 is we have to use very good feedback, sandwich feedback. Give positive first feedback and then try to fix that, and you go back into positive feedback. Sometimes we correct the person, but we don't try to correct the word. If we have to correct the word, oh, I think it's very good, the apple like this, but it's better you put the banana in here and it will be very good. Sometimes we don't correct the word, but we correct the person. How could you do that? I told you not to mix between the banana and the apple. Oh my God. Sometimes we correct the persons, not correcting the word. So this is sometimes making our students feel so desperate. So to wrap up, by highlighting the holistic teaching method, this does not only foster language acquisition, but also enhance psychological well-being. And at last, by intertwining language learning with psychological well-being and emphasizing the need for holistic education, it offers a transformative perspective that resonates beyond traditional teaching methodologies. So in short, a great teacher is not someone that is teaching in a great way, but a great teacher is someone that can convince their students that they are a great students and can do something great in their life. Thank you so much, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Bu Leka. Thank you, Bu Leka. It's always inspiring. Next one, please, Dr. Nazaruddin Musa. We have many Nazaruddin in Aceh, and we have only Nazaruddin Musa here. Please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hamdan wa syukralillah, salatan wa salaman ala rasulillah. Wa asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah. Wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh la nabiyya ba'dah. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for Mr. Moderator for giving me for 20 minutes, maybe less, for this stage. And Honorable Prof. Julian and Prof. Leka for being my greatest mentor for this session. Thank you very much. My name is Nazaruddin Musa. I am a lecturer in Library and Information Sciences from UIN Araniri, Banda Aceh. Okay. For sure it is a tremendous honor to be here as the invited speaker and at this prestigious third symposium at UIN Yogyakarta. First and foremost, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the Honorable Professor Dr. Muhammad Julian, the Deans of Adab Faculty, and also his Vice. And also for Dr. Labibah Zain, Professor Dr. Nurdin Laugu. Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, maybe for me, Prof. Leka asking you, what is your experience of first coming to Jogja? I would like to ask one question. Any one of you, after 2 days in Yogyakarta, still remember your wife or your husband for number? Any one of you, could you raise your hand? Okay, good one. You still remember, right? But the remaining of you, no. That's fine. You can find another one. Not find the number, not find the wife or husband. Well, this is what about my topic today. We call the digital amnesia. Imagine the world that your memory is only 20% of your thinkings, but the rest of one you have stored in your device. So we call digital amnesia. So I'm going to talk about this. I have divided my talk to at least 4. What is the digital amnesia for sure, and then we go on to look at what are digital amnesia issues, and then what is librarians' new challenges of facing these phenomena. And the last but not least, I asked the librarian, maybe all of you become a super smart librarian or super smart society. Well, let me try to do this. Could we go? Sorry. Is the last? Unfortunately. This one? Oh, sorry for the last one, the first. This is digital literacy, illiteracy. Digital. Yeah. Digital illiteracy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, may I use the microphone? So, the terms is found in 2015, like digital amnesia means the experience of forgetting the information you trust digital devices to store and remember for you. That's why I'm asking you, still remember or not? So there are some related terms on this issue. We call nomophobia or no mobile phone phobia. And also some call it digital or Google effects. What the difference between two is that when we call digital amnesia, this means you rely really on your devices. But Google effect, we don't need your devices, but you need the internet connection. That's the difference. And for sure, the last what I'm discussing today is digital amnesia. It's almost similar, but digital amnesia is rely only on your devices. And now, at the latest, maybe we call EI addiction. So many of you maybe really depend on the chat GPT or something else. So digital amnesia, based on the research found that internet not only change the way of people search and find information, but also how they remember the information itself. Then people also tend to represent their task of thinking to the digital devices. And the last one, blurring of knowledge. What does it mean of blurring of knowledge? People sometimes claim that this is his knowledge, but he just find the new term and looking at the internet and the phone, and he claims this is mine. So blurring between your memories and digital and devices memories, we call this digital amnesia. So many of them that can find in research. Oh, okay. Okay, we go on. Based on the research in unfortunately. He's go by himself. So I'm just to continue to talk about this. Based on the research in Europe in 2016 by Kaspersky, they found that 70% of people in Europe have been really depend on the digital devices. And only 21% of them are using their own memory to think. So why this issue is important in terms of librarian perspective? Because in business perspective, this issue is no problem. It's a normal. That why you use your brain to think about your phone number, about something, but it is better to use your brain for thinking about your love, about everything else. Yeah. Okay. Why? Because a librarian is information specialist. So this means information specialist, you have to be always follow what's happening in this world. A specialist means you have to make sure that the people find the information in relevant and also in very quickly. And librarian, the second reason is a living organism. Because, in library perspective, there are 4 laws of library science, 5. First, books or other resources is for reading. The second, every books or every resources, its readers. And every readers its books, and library is a living organism. Means if you have to serve your community with good resources, you have to be a good information specialist. That means you have to develop your devices, you expand your space in the library, you give a good services to your users. We have to always to be followed. Now, be digital literate librarian, because based on my research, I found that there are 4 framework of digital literacy they have to be familiar with. The first one is digital culture. Of course, we are right now realize that we are living in this digital era, and how to use this smart with your skill, you have to be skilled. But also, you have to be understand about the ethical issues on using the technology, especially for students. For example, because last day we with Mr. Ali, you discussed about AI, right? How the student use the AI, and of course we strongly recommend it to have a good ethic in using this tool. We have no problem with technology. Thanks to technology, but don't forget to Dewey, Melville Dewey, who has classified the information in 1868, I think. Yes. The last one is digital safety. It's very important because it based on the research in 2019, we still weak in digital safety. So people like don't care or sharing or your contact information, everything on your media, social media. So this is the issues of today. Okay, we go on. Why literacy, digital literacy is important? Because based on my research, digital literacy is negatively influence the digital amnesia behavior. So what we need today is how to navigating digital native users not to getting lost in their own world, because it's very rare, because we are immigrant based on the one expert said, but our student today, they are the native speaker, the digital native. But unfortunately, without relying on the issues of digital amnesia, they sometimes trapped to difficulties in using the internet. Okay, prepare them to become a 5.0 society. What is a 5.0 society? Is a Japan's concept in 2015. They asked the people to be how to improve human quality in the era of full of lot of information. So 5.0 society is that a human-centered society, a society that controls technology is not a society controlled by technology. And I think this is the old concept that we can see how this society developed. Well, I ask you, maybe a librarian in this room, to be a Pandi, an abbreviation of Pandu Digital. We have to learn this. We have to grow, to have people how to guide the young generation or library user to use a good resources in your library. It doesn't matter. If you come to the library, visit directly or just online, that's fine. But how to use in a good manner. I myself have 3 levels of digital, Pandu Digital. The red one is the basics. The second one is the middle. The basic one, I have the basic one here. We just talking like this, we get this certificate. But when you write about this and you do the research about this, just maybe not publication, you will get the blue one, and the black one is when you are really did on this expert. So let's try to understand this. Maybe I need a volunteer, Mr. Liker, Prof. Liker asking. So read this first carefully. Unfortunately, she's in Bahasa. I need somewhere in Bahasa. Anyone to be a volunteer of me? Raise your hand.
Boleh aku coba, Pak?
Mana?
Sebelah sini.
Right. So, my question. Pertanyaannya adalah, baca dulu secara jelas.
Oke. Jadi, jangan mudah percaya dengan apa yang kamu lihat di internet hanya karena ada foto dan kutipan di sebelahnya. Soekarno.
Pertanyaannya, is that correct? Are you sure or about this statement?
Yeah, I do believe I agree with this statement because,
You do believe that agree with this statement.
Yeah.
Any others want to counter this statement? Any of you? Yeah? Okay, we have still 5 minutes, but don't spend too much. Who? Yes, please. Okay, use microphone, please.
I don't believe with that statement because Soekarno never said that.
Oh, okay, good for blue. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. This one thing that for sure, when you just first you agree with this statement, but looking carefully, who said this? Soekarno. Because at the Sukarno's time, the internet is not available yet. Thank you very much. Okay, so thank you very much, and you may reach me at this my number. Again, Pak Dekan and everybody, thank you very much for having me in this occasion. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Nazar. Please give all the three distinguished speakers a warm welcome. Thank you. If I may restate what they said, Pak Julian talked about coexistence between two cultures. The culture of bureaucracy in modern education and the culture of pesantren, traditional education in pesantren. While Bu Lieke also talked about the culture of old teachers who always instruct the children to do something or ask them to do something, and the culture of new teachers, which I think she called it a holistic teacher, a holistic approach to teaching English. This is very interesting. So we have coexistence of two cultures, but we need to choose, I think. And Pak Nazaruddin talk about the culture of maybe old people like me who knows nothing about technology. So when I tried using the remote control, I didn't do it properly. And the culture of new era or young people. I think Pak Nazaruddin called digital native. We need to coexist together. Now, I think it is very interesting, three of their ideas and insightful. And now I will give the opportunity for the audience to ask question. Please introduce yourself first, and then to whom your question is addressed. I will give maybe 3 questioners first. Is there any question from the back, the front? Maybe the students, the audience? Oh yeah, we have 2 questions there, please. Thank you, Mas, for the help.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Aziz. I want to ask a question to Prof. Julian Mili regarding the Talaki method. I graduated from pesantren, but actually I heard about Talaki method after I read a novel, Ayat Cinta by Habibur Rahman El-Shirazi. So I think it is an popular term, the talaki in in pesantren, particularly in Central Java, or maybe the talaki has the same meaning with sorogan. Yeah, so I consider that the term of talaki may be popular among modernist pesantren, and it is unpopular among traditionalist pesantren, particularly among NU pesantren. So my question is, how about is talaki has the same meaning with sorogan? Like you said before in the presentation, you said about bandongan, the bandongan method that usually teacher or kiai he explain about teaching about their kitab that he or she read, and in sorogan usually student go to the teacher and they they deliver maybe about their memorization about Quran or about kitab kuning. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mas Aziz. Next one.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm Nini Salwa from the Faculty of Adab UIN Sunan Kalijaga. So talking about talaki, the same with Mas Aziz, I also graduated from pesantren but in South Sulawesi. When I was studying in pesantren, I never heard about talaki, to be honest. I heard about talaki after graduating from my friends in Java and other provinces. So the term that we know in South Sulawesi is mangaji tudang, meaning that reading while sitting in front of our teacher, our kiai or ustads. So that's also probably another insight from me as alumni from pesantren in South Sulawesi. And another thing that I would like to, I don't know, it's comment or a question. So how the role of the parents itself in the declining of talaki itself in pesantren. I see now there are more parents that wants to send their children to pesantren in order to, the main thing is that they want their children to be well behaved, civilized, and get well educated in Islamic education. But at the same time, they also want their children to be a good scientist, good in other languages education, like Arabic and English, for example. That's the thing that I also want to highlight in the factor that impact the decline of talaki itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mbak Nini. One more questioner for the first round? No? No question? All right, so we start with the two questioners first.
Thank you very much, friends, for the questions. They're very good ones. About the talaki being a recent term, well, this is really news to me. I would like to learn about that. So maybe we can talk about that later. I did not, when I was doing the research that I did not get the impression that it was a new term. But the fact that you studied at a traditional pesantren and didn't hear the term talaki is very important. Is there a possibility that there's a difference between your institution and Garut and Cicalengka and Sumedang? Possibly, there's a possible difference there because there is a lot of distinctions in terms that are used. So my understanding that I got was that talaki doesn't refer to a specific learning practice, but it refers to the what do we call it, the tatap muka side of it, the face-to-face, that the talaki from the Arabic liqa. You know, of course, in Egypt, when you say ila liqa, it means till the next time we meet. So the talaki is a meeting. So underneath that level, then you have things like sorogan, okay, which is a distinctive kind of pedagogy. In my notes it says the murid reads in front of the teacher who corrects the reading. That's my definition for sorogan. So in my notes it comes at a sort of a more specific level than talaki. But let's talk about this. I would very much like to talk about this with you both later, because these are very important experiences for me, for me to find out about. The second point is about the pesantren. So you're Nini, yeah, Teh Nini. So for the really, okay, so to what degree are parents aware of sanad? I think that's what you're saying. Now, at two of these institutions that we studied, the sanad is really strongly published. For example, I showed an image of one of them where the various sanad are literally inscribed on one of the walls of the pesantren, okay? And furthermore, other parts of the pesantren, you can see the sejarah there. So they're very proud of the pesantren. Now, for people who graduated from that pesantren, those sanad are really important because they know about them. And so for a santri, this becomes then a very important thing. But for parents from outside the pesantren milieu, from outside that environment, yeah, I don't think they would know very much about those sanad. But I agree with you that what their concern is, they like the pesantren because of the reputation for discipline and the reputation for that students might be able to avoid some of the problems that are perceived to be big problems for youth in contemporary society. So I agree with you there. I think parents that come from outside that environment, they don't really know much about the sanad. But for people within that environment and within the geographical area of the pesantren, yeah, they're very important. And about this question of the experience of students in other disciplines, as a general reality, and I'm not sure whether this is what you are asking, I found that graduates of madrasa, they quite often felt that they did not have so many opportunities in comparison with the graduates of the sekolah umum. They felt that the subject selection was not as wide, especially when it came to technical and mathematical sciences, which of course is a big thing that this sector has to deal with. So yeah, there's an interesting tension there. What it means in Jawa Barat is that the madrasah that have really wide curriculum, they're very expensive, because of course it's expensive to offer the wide variety of subjects. But for those that are not so well resourced, yeah, there's a limited range of subjects. I hope that's an answer.
Thank you, Pak Julian. Is that answering your question? Thank you, Mbak Nini and Mas Aziz. I will open the second round for another 3 questioners, if there is some there. Pak, is there any question from the back? No? Okay, yeah, Pak Nurdin. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. I'm Nurdin Laugu. First of all, I would like to actually use this time to express my gratitude, yeah, to because today I'm very happy, yeah, because around 20 years ago, I had a great editor to my thesis, yeah, master thesis, Prof. Julian Mili, yeah. At that time, we met in Leiden in 2004 to 2005, yeah. You still remember, I'm Nur Laugu that time. But this is actually, we call it maybe the destiny, takdir, destiny, because at that times, my editor actually, Bu Rosemary Robson, still remember it. Yeah, but because she has many assignments to finish, then the editor moved to Prof. Julian. So thank you very much, because almost 20 years I met you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You look exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah. So even though just we're talking about amnesia, Alhamdulillah, I'm still not amnesia. Yeah. But at that time, yeah, I remember, yeah, Prof. Julian was still young at that time. He's very handsome. Yeah. But now, you know, the hair is still more. Yeah, still handsome. Now the hair, yeah, a bit white. Yeah.
You can move to the next part of the question.
Okay, as we know that, you know, today we are living in a very, very sophisticated and complicated world, yeah, where technology become more dominant, yeah, become determinant factor to what is to form our human life, yeah, and all aspect of the life becomes dominated by the technology, yeah. Especially our culture, yeah, even our religious belief stance, yeah, will be changed. So because this technology become more dominant, and if we human being cannot anticipate or control the effect, then technology will become dangerous things. Yeah, it is very different what we are expecting. Yeah, that technology actually must become only a tool. Yeah, to help us. Yeah, to form our future, our good future. But what we are encountering now, yeah, the technology become devastating. Yeah, and if we can see, yeah, the technology used to develop to build or to drive the war, and using the technology, it will become more dangerous than the World War I, II, if we cannot handle the negative effect of the technology. So I think, yeah, this conference Coexistence, yeah, will be contributing, yeah, one of the aims to control or to help, yeah, give a solution for our future life. Yeah. So I'm going to ask those, yeah, to three speakers. Yeah. So what's your proposal, or what your, yeah, it could be more concrete ideas how to how the fields, yeah, library science perspective, educational perspective, and Islamic perspective, how to contribute to encounter the effect of the technology. I think that's all. Thank you very much.
The one question, but for three of them. Thank you. Next one, Pak. Must help the microphone, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all presenters. And I'd like to ask one question, Professor Julian Miller. He recited bureaucratic education and in mystical orders, but there is another outlook of education, Salafi education in the world. I like to learn which one will be more effective in the Islamic world. Can you compare between each other from the angle of education? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Can we have your name, please? Your name?
Sorry, my name is Sönmez Kutlu. Sönmez Kutlu.
Thank you, Pak Somes. Any more question from the audience? Okay, thank you. We start with the first question from Pak Nurdin. Maybe because Pak Mili have already answered 2 questions, so we start with Bu Lika first, then Pak Nazaruddin. Out of your way. Okay. Okay, we start with Pak Nazaruddin.
Those? Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Nurdin, for a very good question, I think. Okay, I will answer in my librarian perspective. So again, as you mentioned just now, that you have to be in mind that the technology is a tool. So in the library, we have to put them in a good manner. Firstly, to store information, to manage information, to distribute information, and this is a tool that have to be used to functioning very strong. But when you're asking how we coexisting with this one, as I mentioned in the concept of 5.0 society, this means we have to keep in mind that we are, the human being is the creators of the technology. So that why we are always keep in track how to navigate in Islam context, for example, tabayun, or more in Iqra, for example, first of all. Iqra, how to read, how to not only the reading, but also how to this created everything. But in tabayun, for example, this means when you come the information to you, they have to verify this, host say this, where come from. This we call the digital literacy in terms of library science. Starting with realizing that you need this information and how to find this in library. Okay, you come to the library, at the library, and you understand how to locate, to find that information. After finding the information, you have to maybe what we call reviews and think abstracts of information, and then you produce another publication until with the ethical issues, not copy pasting and also using tools. This thing we have to keep in mind, and this is the, I think the librarian should think on this way. And also, including the AI, for example, I think we have to teach our students, not forbid them to not using, but how to use this tool correctly. For example, to formulate the questions, for example, it is very useful, because even though the student just asking like in Google, it's still very different where the answer they will give from the ChatGPT, for example. But if you formulate with the very good questions, a little bit detail on what you want, they will give you at least the outline of your question. So I think what we have the librarian do is that you have to make them first thing to have ethical, moral, because I'm really sure that ethical and moral is we call Bahasa Indonesia is the modal, the capital in this digital era. So when we base everything on the moral and ethical, I think we are fine, no problem. So I think that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Nazar. Pulika, do you want to comment on that one? Thank you.
We go back to Surah Al-Mu'minun, verses 29 that I read yesterday. Rabbi anzilni munzala mubaraka wa anta khairul munzilin. Please place us in the best place that Allah bless us about it, because Allah is the best one who gave us the best place. Now we live in a digital place, so we hope that we are also blessed in this digital place. This is unavoidable. Why it is unavoidable? Let's check into our bag. We have handphone, and inside our handphone, your wife say, okay, Now my money is empty. Please transfer some amount of money. Okay, just wait a second. I'm still in a conference. Now, your son want to buy some toys. Yes, please. Astaghfirullah. Okay. And then you try to make transaction and transfer your money through your mobile banking. So it means that digital world unavoidable, cannot be avoided. So we have to adjust with this. Just please trust wherever we live, it is the best place for us. And fortunately now we live in a digital place. This is the place that we have to be able to adapt and adopt smartly about digital things. But for the bad things, I'm sorry to say that for bad things doesn't only happen now in digital age. Bad things, bad person, bad deed also happen in the previous time where the digital age does not exist. So if we talk about something bad, not only now, in every year, in every ages, every decade, there is always bad things in that things. So it is the one, it is us that try to avoid that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Lika. Now, Pak Julian, you have two questions. The digital one? Okay, so you want to comment on the question from Pak Somes? Okay.
Thank you very much for the question, Pak Somes. May I ask, when you say Salafi education, do you mean, for example, the education that is in accordance with the ideology, for example, of the Saudi Arabian kingdom? Is that what you mean by Salafi? Or please, what do you mean by Salafi education?
Yes, in Salafi education, also educational lineage from Sheikh to the background, yes.
I have to say that I hadn't really, my experience is in a number of pesantren in Java, so I've not really had the experience of that kind of education myself. But also I should say I don't really know which is better. I mean, it seems to me that the bureaucratic style distances the individual ethical and moral qualities of the teacher and in religious education, that seems to me to be important. I don't really know how. It's a very difficult philosophical question, but it seems to me to be a very big change. So in the bureaucratic education, of course, the model is one where we follow the standard operating procedures. People's qualifications are verified not by their sanad, but by the proper degree, the proper qualification that they have that prepares them to be a teacher. It doesn't mean that there's no respect for the teacher involved. No, of course not. But it is a very big difference. And so I don't really know which one is better because they're both a part of Indonesian modernity at present. But I think people ought to be thinking about what that means for religious education. For non-religious education, I don't think it matters so much. I don't think it matters so much at all. But because religion has this element of ethics and morality in it, I think that's where it might make a difference. So as far as the Salafi one, I really don't know enough about that to comment. But I'd like to hear your comments, please, if you have some experience about that. I would like to know, please.
In fact, two kinds of education, they are against reason. So they are not rational. I think in the next of Muslim societies, Salafism will be more effective than bureaucratic educational system. Because mystical orders, they are using the text based on text-based, and they are using classical text. And all these texts were educated also in madrasa, Salafi madrasa, and madrasa, mystical madrasa. So there will be rivalry between each other in the next century. Yes.
They will be rivals, you say? Rivals? Yeah. Okay, so you're saying that the Salafi and the mystical education is a different, these are different things, yeah, which is the same in Indonesia, yeah. Well, I suppose that it's that the irrational rationality defying component of religious education. I mean, I guess that's, in one way, can be a shortcoming. In another way, it can be a strength if the non-religious subjects are bureaucratically run. But we can talk about this later. It's very interesting. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pak Julian. I think I already asked the committee about the timetable. So we don't open any other question from the audience. Sorry for this. We need to finish by now, and then we have 30 or 20-minute breaks. And then after that, we will go to the second agenda, which is the closing and the token. Bu Idri, is that right? No. A closing ceremony and MOU signing, and after that we have early dinner, yeah? Early dinner. And MOU first, closing, and then early dinner. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for all the distinguished speakers here. Please give applause for them. If I can wrap up our discussion today, we live in this contemporary world, which is very diverse in culture, tradition, beliefs, religion, and so forth. It's very diverse. And the way we can exist together is by coexisting. We respect other culture, we take pride of our culture. And I think I like the words from Bu Like. We think positively of other culture, and we believe that everything in the world is for the best of humanity. So I think that's all for our discussion today. Thank you very much for your attention. Akhirul kalam, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. We will have a short break outside, maybe for pray. Do we have a pray break? Bu Fitri? 20 minutes, yeah? 20 minutes? Can you announce? Okay, so we have a 20-minute break to pray Ashar, yeah? And then after that, we have a MOU signing and closing ceremony here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bu Julian, Pak Julian, Bu Like, thank you very much, and Pak Nazaruddin. Terima kasih,
has ended. We were kindly requested to all attendees who still outside to please back to the room immediately because the event will be continuing soon. Thank you.
After the
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now proceeding to the next item of today's agenda, which is the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU. The MOU between Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University will be represented by Professor Dr. Ali Shadikin as the chairman of the office in Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University and the AIT Azerbaijan Institute of Technology. The signing of the MOU will be guided by the International Office of Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University, the Rector of AIT Azerbaijan, Associate Professor Agir Shirnov, Rector of Azerbaijan Institute of Theology, Dr. Ali Shadik, and the team of International Office of Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University are invited. The place is yours.
السيادة والسادة، برنامجنا الآن هو الحفل الختامي الذي سترأسه الدكتورة وترياني كالرئيسة الثانية في هذا المؤتمر الدولي، وإليها فلتتفضل مشكورا.
Ladies and gentlemen, proceeding to the next item of today's agenda, which is the closing ceremony. The closing ceremony will be led by Dr. Witriani as the chief of this symposium. To Dr. Witriani, the platform is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Before I talk a little bit about this, okay. First of all, I want to invite Associate Professor Agil Shirinov, Director of Azerbaijan Institute of Theology, Azerbaijan, to have the close remark, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank once again our Indonesian brothers and sisters for this wonderful organization. And in particular, it's the State University, State Islamic University. And I would like to thank Mr. Dean and his staff for this organization and for this wonderful symposium. And secondly, it is my pleasure to thank to my friend Shahin Ahmedoğlu, because I know that he has a tremendous work, and to Mr. Shahin Aleskero from Azerbaijan Institute of Theology as well. They work together with our Indonesian brothers. And I would like to thank Kırıkkale University, the Faculty of Theology and the Dean of Faculty of Theology, and the Vice Dean as well. And I would like to thank Moral Values Promotion Foundation and Mr. Mehman Ismailov for his support. It is my first time in Indonesia. I haven't been to Indonesia. And Indonesian people with their smile faces, with their smile faces, smiling faces, I think they had impact on me very much, and I think that they are examples for the whole Muslim world, with their culture of culture of hospitality, with their culture of coexistence as well, with their culture of tolerance. I know that in this island, in the Java, the representatives of many ethnic and religious groups, they have lived together for centuries, and now they are living together in peace. So I think it's a good example. It's a good example, and the name of our symposium is dedicated to the culture of or the experience of coexistence in Islamic culture. And as I mentioned in my first lecture, Islam is a religion of peace. But unfortunately, starting from the second half of 20th century, many groups in Islamic world, they appeared on behalf of Islam. And they started to spread their radical views on behalf of Islam. And once again, unfortunately, with their effort, Muslims and Islam is known in a certain part of the world as not as a religion of peace or people of peace. So it is our duty, it is our obligation to reveal the real face of Islam, the true face of Islam, which is peace. How can a religion whose name is derived from the word peace, silm in Arabic, promote hatred? It is impossible. But as I mentioned, unfortunately, some groups they accept or they show themselves as Muslims, and they started to spread their views on hatred all over the world. And I think this symposium is a good example for promoting Islamic coexistence. It is our obligation. It's the obligation of academicians, academicians on Islamic sciences, as well as Muslim academicians from all over the world, to how we can say, to introduce the world good examples of coexistence that we had in Islamic world and we have in Islamic world now, and to form a basis for coexistence in terms of Islamic religion. I know that we don't have enough time. We have very limited time. Once again, I am very grateful to you. I am very grateful to our Indonesian brothers and sisters for this organization, and hopefully this symposium will continue. Firstly, it was initiated in Baku in Azerbaijan with Kırıkkale University and Moral Values Promotion Foundation of Azerbaijan, and now the second year we were in Turkey, in Kırıkkale. We had a wonderful symposium there, and now we have a wonderful symposium here in Yogyakarta. Hopefully, next year we will have the symposium in other places of Islamic world. Thank you once again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. The next closing remark is from dear Professor Şahin Ahmet Tuklu. Sorry, I'm misspelling, from Kırıkkale University, Turkey. Time is up.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies, gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, last day, because I am very emotional today. No. I am greeting you all with my most sincerely. When we set out in this path 4 years ago, we were a little worried. I wonder how successful we will be. We held our first symposium by Azerbaijan for the first time. We saw that, yes, we can achieve something. We held the second one in Turkey. Again, we saw that, yes, we can achieve many things. When we came to Yogyakarta, we were absolutely sure that we succeed and will succeed together. Why did we choose the name of the symposium, the practice of coexistence in Islamic culture? Because the culture we belong to is an ancient and rich civilization. Our aim is to first get to know the members of this civilization who have this knowledge, and to contribute academically to bringing this knowledge to light. If we were able to achieve this goal, we would be happy. Our journey, which started with Azerbaijan and continues with Turkey, has entered a new phase with Indonesia. I hope that this journey will grow stronger and lead to new journeys and more beautiful and beneficial work together. We have felt like at our home here. Thank you all. It's like we've lived together for years. We will never forget the time we spent here with you. I would like to thank all the employees of Sunan Kalejaga University, especially the Faculty on Adab and Cultural Sciences and all of its academic and administrative staff and all students. the hospitality of Indonesia and Sunan Kalijaga University will always remain alive in our memories. Now, on behalf of myself and my team, I would like to offer my thanks to those who contribute to the realization of the symposium and you, the symposium participants. I hope that we will meet in the another symposium. Goodbye, fi emanillah, selamat tinggal, hati-hati di jalan.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Sahin. I think the next remark is from our Dean, please. Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am glad and honored and also very proud to organize this symposium, which is run successfully with all your help and all your dedication. After finishing this symposium, it is my great honor to extend my deepest gratitude to all of you, our esteemed invited speakers, dedicated presenters, and esteemed colleagues from Kirikala University and Azerbaijan Institute. They are Professor Sahin Ahmed Toglu and his colleagues, and also Professor Akil Sirinov and his colleagues. Your presence and contribution have been invaluable in making this symposium a success. Of course, the elite association and other group also contribute much to the success of this symposium. Over these 2 days, we have delved into profound discussion, share innovation ideas, and build bridges of understanding that transcend borders, either during the formal discussion, in plenary session, or in parallel session, or informal talks during lunch or dinner. The collaboration and spirit of inquiry that we have witnessed here are truly inspiring for us in the future. I hope that the knowledge and connection we have gained during this symposium will continue to grow and flourish, fostering further collaboration and academic excellence. We look forward to hosting many more successful events in the future, building on the foundation we have established together. I don't know when Sunan Kalijaga will host the symposium again, maybe in the next 3 or 4 years, but we still happy and we are glad to host you again in the future to come. My deepest gratitude should also go to all the committee under the leadership of Mrs. Witriani and also Mr. Jarad Wahyudi. That everything is arranged well during these 2-3 days and also the last day tomorrow. Their hard work and dedication have made this symposium run successfully. Thank you once again for all your participation and dedication. We wish you safe travel and look forward to our next meeting. Finally, let us close our international symposium these 2 days by reciting Hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, the Dean. Thank you so much. Our friends from Turkey like to share the gift. So many gifts. We have so many gifts lately, but the last gift I think Mrs. Sahin will share to several person here, maybe. And then please, to Adam Yildirim, the Associate Professor Adam Yildirim, to give to something for person. Oke, ini tolong dikasih. Oke, enggak satu. Oke. The first one for Shahin alias Kirinov. And the second one is for Dr. Ubaidillah from Indonesia. And the third one is for Muhammad from Turkey. Please.
Take care of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Although the Dean has closed, but I still want to share something on behalf of the committee. First of all, of course, I would like to share our deep praise to our rector, vice rectors, of course, and the university board for all the supports, both financial, to make everything happen. And then thank you also Pak Ali Sodik, the head of the bureau, the dean and vice dean, and the faculty member, and also the all university board who support this conference or this symposium. And actually, I will tell a little bit why I should be here. Actually, I know that it is not easy. I did remember last year when I asked permission to my dean that I had to go to Turkey for the second symposium, and then he said that you can go to Turkey unless you will be the committee next year. And then, okay, at the time I don't think that I will be the head of the committee, just committee. Why not? Because everyone in the faculty could be the committee if there is the conference. And secondly, last year also, almost the same time, my boss in the department, Ibu Uli, also said that Uni, he called me Uni, you have to be the head of the committee for elite next year, because Ibu Like asked our department to host the 12th elite conference. So, and then what can I say? They are my boss, so here I am, and then we have to work hard for this, almost a year, I guess, and then thank you so much for anyone for this trust and responsibility. And Alhamdulillah, of course, we come to the end of this conference, and then I do really appreciate for those involved in this can be such a huge conference. I learned so much, of course, from those the friends from Turkey and also Azerbaijan, and also from elite association with a lot of what is a member and then a presenter, and just realized that we held 460 presenters, both online and offline, and then and we did it in these 2 days, and I think that we hope that it's great and everything runs well. And then of course that's why we do really apologize if there is such a mistake, mistype, and everything on the book of conference, because so many we have to work hard, especially Miss Anissa and team, to finish the book before the conference. And finally, for the abstract, only almost 500, right? And then of course, this is, yeah, I know that I give, first of all, of course, it is not only, it is of course a teamwork behind me. I have a great team, of course, and I just want to share my great appreciation, of course, to our team, the great people behind this. First, of course, the secretary under the leader of Miss Anissa. Please, where is it? Can you share? This is Ibu Anissa, and then and also not only Ibu Nuri. Where is Nuri? Nuri, and also Anto, Anwar, the team of Secretariat, Beni, Ika, Arif, and all the students behind the Secretariat who has managed around, Ibu Anissa has managed around 70 students voluntary to work for this, and then started the beginning, designing the flyer, communicate with the presenter, and provide the video bumper, talk to the, what is that, provide the seminar kits and share the schedule and everything, including LOA and all behind, including they have to kind of probably 7 days a week, and then everything, and any single details of this conference, including the certificate. And secondly, of course, the event committee led by Bu Labibah. Where are you? Hello. Okay. She's the coordinator of event. even along with Ibu Marwi. Where are you? Ibu Marwi for the plenary, the coordinator of the plenary. And then Ibu Maya, the coordinator of the parallel session. Where are you, Ibu Maya? And then also Pak Riz, the coordinator of cultural visit tomorrow. And then also Mas Bagus, the coordinator of dinner tonight. And then you know that it is not easy to beg or to ask for Ibu Labibah to join, because she is the head of our university library and also the president of Asian Library. But I know that I can count on her and then to make everything, since he promised me that he will be responsible to be the event coordinator, so I just trust her, and you know, thank you so much. And then of course the third is transportation and hospitality division. There are under the coordinator of Pak Margo, please. And then there are also Daniel, Pak Bambang, Pak Fuad, and students from liaison officer. I know that it is not easy to pick up the guests. Sometimes they have to. There's ones they have to stay from morning until late in the airport or station, and then sometimes Pak Margo also said that at 4 o'clock he has to be in the station, and then it is not easy. Of course, not only just back and forth, and then I really we do really appreciate that. And then of course. The meal and refreshment team under the leader of Ibu Shifa. Where is you? Shifa, Anin, Aska, Butari. Where is? And the student, yeah, this kind of, they are strict people. I could not interrupt them. And then they are the people behind who's responsible with our stomach, of course. And then and we should be good at them. And then unless we don't get food sometimes. And thank you so much for coordinate for to make everyone happy in this room, of course, with a lot of stuff, food and meal. And of course, my deep appreciation also due to the treasury team, Adriana, Bu Haryati, and then also Ibu Asfi, and then who work with document and money and everything, and also last but not least, okay, please, my student, can you stand up? Okay. Okay. The blue team here, the great students who has helped us a lot. Okay, Imam Anissa divided them into several jobs, including the secretariat, liaison officer, transportation, and what else? Publication and everything. Of course, last but not least, thank you very much for all the presenters, association that who has contributed much for this huge conference. Thank you so much. I do apologize if, of course, there is no perfect things, and then if there is things that I have not mentioned yet is, of course, Pak Jarod. He should be the head of the committee, but he always say that the younger should lead first, and then, but he has helped me so much with everything, with the discussion. We have a small group actually. Two of them is the dean and vice dean, and then it is Pak Jarod who has helped me to support anything. He consult with the Professor Sahin, also Professor Sahin in Turkey, and also our guest from Egypt, Professor Mahmoud, and also from many places of the world, including from Malaysia and everything. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please. Before that, our student has already made a short document. Please enjoy. Okay.
الضيوف الكرام، البرنامج الآخر هو الاختتام. دعونا نقول الحمد لله رب العالمين. ختاما لهذا البرنامج، أنا سيتي نور هداية وصديقتي لطفينا تشهياني بصفتنا رئيسة جلسة نطلب منكم عفوا على جميع الأخطاء. نشكركم شكرا جزيلا على حسن اهتمامكم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
So we have a little announcement that after this event, please have a break to have a Maghrib break, and after that, please join to a gala dinner at Faculty of Adab and Cultural Sciences, and gala dinner will be start at 6:30. Thank you.